The Life and Crimes of Doris Payne is a stylish, engrossing, and ultimately sad film about an 84-year-old Black American woman who achieved fame and notoriety as a world-class jewel thief in a career that spanned 64 years. The FBI file for Doris Payne is said to be about 6 feet long, but the criminal history for the international jewel thief dates back into the 50s. This documentary traces Payne's journey from an impoverished childhood in West Virginia to a lavish life on the run around the world. And this was Vincent's selection as we go dock to school here on the Micheaux Mission. Vincent, what say you of the life and crimes of Doris Payne?
I think this is a perfect example of the kind of documentary that I like. I think there are people who have a very sort of sophisticated and nuanced palette when it comes to documentaries, like people who really are into documentaries. And I have to say, I'm really more, I feel like I'm a real meat and potatoes documentary watcher. Like, I'm not that concerned with the form and the craft of a documentary.
Okay.
As much as I just like a story. And this is a damn good story. Like you basically said it, this Black woman who has been a jewel thief since the 50s. And right there, this is something that is bananas to me, because when I think about being a jewel thief, and certainly the type of jewel thief she was, where she's not a cat burglar.
Right.
She basically goes in and through sleight of hand and through confidence building, she's able to steal.
Yes.
And that is insane to me, because it's appropriately enough, speaking of documentaries, a documentary that I just watched, the 2-3-part documentary. Again, I'm a real meat and potatoes sort of, like the 2-3-part documentary about The Biggest Loser on Netflix. Like, I never watched the show, but I just figured, wow, this is going to be a crazy documentary about this crazy moment. And one of the commentators made this observation about being obese. And she said that to be obese in America is to be both invisible, where people just don't acknowledge you, people just don't see you, but also hyper visible.
Yeah.
Like everything about you is on display. And it's this weird contradiction of existence.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me because that's also a description of being Black, where it's the Ralph Ellison Invisible Man thing, where many of us who are Black have experienced this every day.
Yep.
Where you are invisible. Like I say, we joke all the time in my house about when we frankly see people we work with out of context.
Yeah. Out of the office.
They don't see us.
That's right. That's right.
And you're invisible, but at the same time, as a Black person, you're oftentimes being watched when you go into places, and certainly into a store. So for this Black woman to be hyper visible and to be able to pull this off, I'm already like, this is an amazing story. And then when you hear about Doris Payne and she tells you about her journey into being a jewel thief and almost stumbling into it as a form of defiance because of some racism she faces, and then she goes to Europe and is a jewel thief, and it is a fascinating story.
Yeah.
Just watching how it unfolds. And then one of the smarter things that the documentary does is that it focuses on the fact that, as you said at the top, this is not a reformed jewel thief. This is not a reformed or retired jewel thief.
Right.
Doris Payne, at the time of the making of the documentary, is in dire straits legally because she's being accused of stealing some jewelry.
Yep.
And there are two moments in the documentary that I absolutely love. Like the way she talks about she would steal jewelry is that she goes into a jewelry store. She goes up to the counter. She has the merchant, the clerk, pull out a bunch of different rings and jewels and things. And then she basically shuffles things around.
Mm-hmm. 3-card Monte.
Almost a 3-card Monte type. And they show her demonstrating how she does it. And at the time of the filming of this documentary, she is 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I had a difficult time watching her hands as she's demonstrating. Now, she tells you, this is what I'm going to do. I am 80 years old, and now my hands are moving. And her hands, she is so nimble. She is so fast that it is difficult to keep track of her hand movements. Mm. The other part of the hustle, as I mentioned, is that she makes you trust her.
Yes.
There's an extraordinary moment in this documentary where the documentarian has to basically break the wall between documentary maker and becomes part of the documentary. Mm-hmm. Because in the making of the documentary, at some point, Doris Payne has told her probation officer,
80-year-old on probation. Continue.
But she tells her probation officer that she's with the documentary maker at some point, and she was not with the documentary maker. And then we see the documentarian going back and forth with her about her doing this. And you see her play with words,
mm-hmm.
play with his emotions.
Yep.
And you 100% understand how this woman is able to pull off what she has pulled off. Once again, the context of you watching this, she is in her 80s.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the documentary has set up for 45 minutes. This woman lures you in and makes you drop your guard. So you know who she is, but she's so good at it.
Mm.
And this is an image of blackness. This is an image of black womanhood that you just don't see that often.
That's true.
And just unapologetically.
Oh.
Which is, as we've said, the other thing, oftentimes you see these documentaries, you see these stories about, oh, I was a jewel thief, or I was a this, or I was a that, but now I'm older, I done found
mm-hmm.
Jesus,
yep.
This, that, and the other. And Doris Payne is unapologetic. I think we throw these words around, but I think she might be a sociopath. She is unrepentant. She is everything, and I love that. I love this figure. I'm going to break speaking rules. Like someone in the comments is saying, I didn't think she took from the stores in documentary, because I respectfully disagree with you, Deborah. I think Doris Payne stole everything that they said that they stole, in many things that she didn't get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think this is just what she does.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that aspect of her character. I love the fact that this isn't this sweet little old lady.
Mm.
I love this is who she is. And just on that level, I was all in. Critically, are there some parts that I didn't necessarily enjoy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like reenactments. All this bit with there's a significant amount of time where there are reenactments of what Doris Payne did when she was younger. Mm-hmm. And I didn't need that, especially since even in the documentary, they talk about the fact that they've sold the rights to her story to Halle Berry. This is in 2013. 20 seconds of research lets you know Tessa Thompson is talking about making a film based on Doris Haynes' life,
Payne.
Doris Payne's life, and I gotta tell you, I'm looking forward to this. Like Tessa Thompson playing Doris Payne, I'm very much looking forward to that. I don't need a reenactment. Like, I don't need you to have some 22-year-old woman dressed up in a wig pretending to be Doris Payne in 1963 in Monte Carlo. Save that for the movie. Like, this is time we could be talking to Doris Payne, talking to, at one point, her friend Gretchen comes into the documentary. And, you know, like I say it all the time, I love old black people. I love old black people. So, look, I don't need the girl dressed up in the wig in the 1960s. Like, stick with Doris and Gretchen.
Gretchen in her Ed Hardy hat.
And her, like, them talking, and these two tough old birds talking about.
Chain smoking their butts off, man.
Lynn. You know they could have set up a camera in front of them, too.
Gave them each a pack.
Look, and just let them talk to each other. Speaking of Cary Grant and sort of the pop culture romanticization of the jewel thief, I thought the documentary could have been much sharper in the way racism and sexism did not allow her to be framed in a way that these other figures have been framed. Like we're talking about it being romantic. No one romanticizes her the way that the Cary Grant figure is romanticized. And there is ample opportunity to talk about how racism and class and sexism and that toxic misogynoir leads to that. And the documentary leaves all of that on the table, and it's not addressed. Again, we live in a culture where I think we fetishize black women in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways that we do is that when a black woman gets older, many of us, now she has turned into this mother figure. Now she has turned into this sort of desexualized, you know, mammy, you know, that's there to nurture, that's there as a moral compass, all of these things. And again, Doris Payne is the exact opposite of that.
Boy, yes she is.
So much so that she has two children. That you can tell the relationship with these children is very complicated.
Because of her life.
Because of her life. And this is not explored at all. You have one or two moments with her daughter. Her son, who there's a whole story with her and her son, is in one moment in the documentary. And that is another moment that I think could have been explored much more. But look, again, I just needed, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect documentary. Well, how is it not a perfect documentary? Well, these are the ways that I think it's not a perfect documentary. But, you know, just to give y'all a little peek behind the curtain, I had chosen something else for this month. And you know, Lynn was putting together the promos and this, and I told Lynn, stop the presses. Like, I actually pulled an old school stop the presses. I have something else, cause
what made you what made you switch?
You know, okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. We were watching this whole thing. So like Soul, the show Soul.
Yeah, that's up there on YouTube.
All the episodes are on Tubi.
Yeah.
So we're working through Soul. Lean on Me. What's it?
Bill Withers?
Bill Withers. Bill Withers is on the episode, and Bill Withers is talking real crazy.
Okay.
Like, Bill Withers talk crazy, and then he mentions he's from West Virginia.
Okay.
And then I was like, damn, Bill Withers is talking crazy. It's like, I mean, you're a black man from West Virginia. So, and then like Wendy has relatives in West Virginia. So then we were frankly talking about black people from West Virginia. This is God's honest truth.
I didn't think there were black people in West Virginia.
My ignorant ass was right there with you. Oh, I didn't think there's no black people. So then who all is from West Virginia? And it's like, you asked me. This is 100% how I discovered this. I was looking up black people from West Virginia. And you know how you go to the wiki page and it has a list of people? It's like Bill Withers, some other guy, a third dude.
Was it a full page?
It is. Look. Doris Payne. I said, who was Doris Payne? And I clicked on
like
it.
my neighbor.
And then it said, old black lady who steals, who was a jewel thief. Old black lady jewel. Lynn, I almost threw the iPad down trying to get to my phone to text you. Because I didn't want you to start working on it. And because to be clear, I don't care what you put up. This is what I was doing. I said, this is the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. I said, I love this woman. Because I think she's still a jewel thief.
You think she's still
a jewel thief?
The film ends like throughout the whole documentary. She's on trial.
Yeah.
For stealing jewelry from Macy's.
Telling people that's not me.
That's not me.
On the film, where clearly it's her.
On this, they've got video evidence.
Right.
Like her lawyers, she's like, like her lawyer's talking to her, and the lawyer's like, well, we've got the detective, he says that you quoted this. You're saying you didn't say that quote. I didn't say that quote. I didn't talk to him.
That's not what I said.
Okay, we've got that. The other issue is this video we have where there's a woman, they're saying this is the older woman with an afro. I've never worn an afro in my life. Well, then we'll go with that. The lawyer, God bless this lawyer, because she's like, I hear you. No, because your hair's not. So, okay, let's go. Let's go. So she's on trial, 80 years old, for stealing jewelry from Macy's.
Yes.
All the time. Didn't do it. It ain't me. No. End of the documentary. Spoiler for the documentary. 12-year-old documentary. Judge says, you're guilty.
They give her a chance to plead out.
They give her a chance to plead out.
Yeah.
You just have to say that we'll give you 3 months probation. You'll be out. You just got to say that you're guilty.
Yup.
I feel like I would be saying I'm guilty for something I didn't do. I can't do that. You're with her. You're like, oh, you know what? She's like, I copped to everything, but I didn't do this.
Yeah, maybe she didn't do it. Maybe something wrong with my eyes.
Right,
I mean, clearly that's her on the videotape, but maybe somebody's framing her.
It could be. There's other people in the store. But she's found guilty.
Because she did it.
Well, wait a minute. She's found guilty. At the sentencing, she's like, the lady who she stole from is like, she's a sociopath. She doesn't care about people. She doesn't care about the people that she's hurting at all. The detective is like, I just know that she's going to keep on doing it. I know she's just going to keep on doing it. Her lawyer is like, I need people to know the kind of woman that Doris is away from stealing jewelry. She's a mother.
She is.
She's a mother. The judge interrupts her with 11 social security numbers.
35 aliases. Non-passports.
And Doris is like, I understand that I'm found guilty, but I'm not guilty. That woman over there, I did not talk to that woman. I did not talk to her. She's guilty. She's sentenced to 5 years in prison. 80 years old.
80 years old.
Cut 2. She's in prison.
Mm-hmm.
The documentary and the director, he comes there to talk to her, one last interview with her. And she's like, I'm not mad that I was found guilty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad that I got caught.
That's what she says.
Because I sold the ring.
Yes. Yes.
So that was you? I tried to tell you. I sold the ring.
Mm-hmm.
The very next day, it wasn't worth much.
Yeah.
She's flicking back her hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Cut to the epilogue.
Yeah.
She's released after 2 years in prison because of overcrowding.
Sure,
Let's
sure.
not keep this
I was about to say,
82-year-old woman.
she's 82 years old. What could she do wrong?
Cut to breaking news. 83-year-old jewel thief Doris PAYNE is back behind bars for stealing another $13,000 diamond.
Look.
So she is and always has been and always will be a jewel thief.
A jewel thief.
Now, about this documentary.
Mm-hmm.
As I was watching it, first of all, one of the great things about this documentary, and we talk about this sometimes, is that we're always concerned about a documentary where the subject of the documentary is so ingrained that as a part of the production, right? But this is different because while Doris is there in the first person telling her story, she doesn't have any type of control over the editing.
Right.
She can't massage the story.
Mm-hmm.
Though she is trying hard to massage this story.
Yeah.
Because the stories that Doris is telling are all from the lens of Doris, which means you're talking about how, you know, this was acts of defiance.
Yes.
You know, I was feeling racism coming against
Racism.
And that's what made me, and I wasn't stealing. It was, I'm not giving it back.
Yeah.
Everything was, I'm not giving it
Look.
back. That was her mantra throughout her life. I'm not giving it back. That was her lens. What this documentary misses, or what is missing from it, and you talked about it, is the other point of view. Is either, well, first of all, her talking about the racism of it, I think you're right. That's an opportunity for the directors to craft a story about what does she mean about the racism, to give a little bit more nuance and context to that, and to, like you said, to talk about how the role of the jewel thief. You know, most people may not even know them as jewel thieves. They know them as cat burglars.
Cat burglar.
You know,
right.
they have this other sheen, you know?
Right. It's an Ocean's 11 thing. It's a heist.
It's a heist.
It's a heist.
Exactly. And even with all due respect, you know, in some of the commentary that I was watching about the documentary, you know, people were knocking her down because and saying that, oh, was she a jewel thief or was she just a shoplifter?
Right.
You know, like, okay, if you took a Three Musketeers or a Snicker bar or what's the $5,000 bar, chocolate bar, you are a shoplifter.
Yes.
If you have taken a $25,000 ring, you are a jewel thief.
Yes.
Especially if that is what you steal.
Right.
You know, she is not stealing a bowl of a package of grits. She is stealing diamonds. She is She is stealing diamond rings, taking the diamonds off of the ring, stitching it into her clothing, and then it's jumping off of trains in Monte Carlo. That's the story that Doris PAYNE tells.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, this is all from the Doris PAYNE lens. We don't know. So, but that's the only real bit of romanticizing that you get in this film, because it's from her. And as I'm watching this is in 2013. It comes out in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about how Halle Berry in 2009, 2010 had optioned that she was going to make this a movie. It never comes about.
Right.
And now Tessa Thompson's talking about making a movie. There's a part of me that wondered if there was some of her story and some of the more sensational parts of her story, some of the more exploring of her story, i.e. her relationships with her sons and her daughter. Her daughter, to be fair, stays completely in the shadows.
Yeah, but even that.
Well, okay, but I say that to say she's completely in the shadows, and while she is a part of the documentary, I think she talks solely about her mother. She doesn't really go into great depth about their relationship together.
Right.
Her son, he's in one scene and he's all up in the camera. You know, he's like, hello. But I'm wondering whether or not that some of the exploration of that story in 2013 is, land that they can't touch because of whatever has been optioned for the movie at that time.
Okay.
You leave some milk on, some meat on the bones for the film to kind of like flesh out, or, I would probably say sensationalize a little bit, So I was wondering about that as well. Maybe that was what was maybe holding back this film, the documentary. But I do think there's still a little bit of meat on there that could have been explored. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, they talked to the screenwriter, the person who was writing this movie that was option to be made, who is Doris PAYNE. Mm-hmm. They could have talked to her more about why she wanted to do this. What was her insight into it? What was her thoughts about it? I don't think they really explored that too much. So there was a lot of missed opportunities in the documentary for that, that I felt. You talk about the craft of documentaries. I thought that, and to be fair, and this is something I want to bring up with you in a second, this is a documentary, but at just a little over an hour long. I don't know how much of a feature documentary it is, mm-hmm. So while I was fascinated by her, just the audacity of this woman.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt.
Because you said it. She is unapologetic, unrepentant, and unreformed.
No.
At all. No. So I was fascinated by her, but my fascination with her is what kept me involved with this. The documentary itself, I found a little wanting, but I just got into it, and it's like, I just want to see where it goes.
Yeah, next. Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
But it's an incredible story. I don't mind a reenactment. I don't think there's a lot of reenactments. I think what it is, like, again, I said, I don't think they could play out but so many scenes. One, because I don't think they had the budget for it. Mm-hmm. And two, I think there may have been some handcuffing by whatever the film option. So that you do see her kind of like dressed in like 60s and 50s gears. Mm-hmm. We don't see her really doing anything.
Okay.
So I don't really count those as reenactments. That's just kind of trying to give you a little bit of a taste of the era. Right. Trying to do a little something, different. You know, I think actually if they had the budget, this is a moment where you could have leaned into what Biz Markie did and maybe did a little bit more animation. You could have rolled with that.
I think animation would have worked better than this.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't. There's not one moment where they showed the reenactment, even when she was a little girl.
That was really
like I didn't like any of it.
Yeah,
and we've talked about this before. Speaking of documentaries, we talked about this a bit with the P.D. Green documentary that we watched a few years ago, where for me, when the subject is so fascinating, if you cut away from the subject,
you're doing it.
It better be worth my time.
Yeah,
like even that part of it, where you know you had the one college professor who linked her very tangentially to the trickster tradition.
Yeah,
and you know, and even I didn't feel like the screenwriter offered any significant insight.
No, she didn't, and I don't know what. Maybe she didn't have it to offer.
Right,
I don't think they interrogated.
Right,
it
like again, every moment that Doris PAYNE was on the screen,
you're there.
Not only was I there, I was mesmerized. Like again, I completely understand how this person was able to operate the way she operated. And she's like, if she is basically seducing me at 80 years old through the screen and I come in knowing who she is, in 1980, she was a monster.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she was an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like, she tells these stories about going to Brussels and Monte Carlo and jumping off of trains and this, that. And I don't know if it's just part of the seduction or me seeing her at 80 moving like she moves. I believed her. I was like, I absolutely believe you were doing this stuff or you were capable of doing this stuff.
I believe she was capable of it.
Because, again, you are 80 years old, and I just watched you almost talk yourself out of going to prison with people who saw you do it.
She was 80 years old.
And video footage of you doing it.
And she was 80 years old, and we watched her steal something when they went to, like, the little fair.
Dude, you talking about watching her steal something at the fair. When they had her for publicity at the big store in the mall, and the man was bringing out all of the different jewelry, Lynn, I said, did she just steal something right now?
Yeah.
And I had to question because I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Because she got kicked out of the mall.
She got kicked out of the mall. But then I was like, because she said her MO, like you bring out all the stuff, I cause a distraction, and then I walk out. So then I was like, did she plan on getting kicked out of the mall? Is this all part of the hustle? You know what I was thinking, and you know, this sort of my final part of how they could have talked about race and sexism a bit more, race and gender. I do wonder if she ever had the opportunity, like the con artist who was at the center of Catch Me If You Can, who he landed on being a securities expert and a forgery expert, and then he funneled this into a career. And I'm wondering if she ever was offered the opportunity to basically go into law enforcement almost. And I suspect she didn't.
Yeah, but I can see why. Because
when she didn't, was it because she didn't get the opportunities, or is she, you know, as they say in the documentary, her own worst enemy?
Probably a little bit of both. But I think it also is more to like her level of craft in being a thief by her own words. Really is sleight of hand.
Right.
It wasn't a whole lot of, you know,
and confidence building.
Look, confidence.
Right. I'm not going like Lynn. I am a legitimate regular degular dude. I can barely go somewhere and get somebody to bring me two sneakers. Like, I want to look at them sneakers. And then they do that, the okey doke, where they give you one sneaker to try on.
Yeah.
And I've been law-abiding my whole life. This woman is able to build up confidence for people to bring her hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry and set it in front of her.
Yeah, but I don't know how you turn that over to it helping law enforcement. I could see them not necessarily offering her that gig, as opposed to Frank Abernathy, I believe that was his name,
who was more of a forger.
He's a master forger.
Yeah, he's a forger. Okay,
you know,
right.
so I can definitely see that. It's interesting. It's an interesting idea, but I could see that. Yeah, but she definitely is a fascinating character. And you're right. When the one time they talked to the college professor and he kind of like starts talking about the trickster, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But they don't go anywhere with it.
Right.
They don't go anywhere with it. And most of the talking heads in this movie, and there's not a lot of them.
No, not a lot. Yeah.
Maybe 4 or 5. They don't really bring anything to the table. You just want to see Doris.
Look,
maybe like you said, see her sitting in a smoky room with her girlfriend,
right?
Gretchen.
Or Doris and Gretchen just sort of walking
the earth. Yeah, and having adventures.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what you want to see. Now, but I do want to land on one little thing about this movie and about the length necessarily about this film. A question for you. Just as for rules for us for doctor school. Okay. Because the rule that I have been trying to operate on in selecting these documentaries for us to review, we've already kind of like stretched the rules a little bit, so it's not just documentaries that came out in theaters, right? Because, you know, the world of streaming is real. Mm-hmm. But the rule that I've been trying to stay on is that these documentaries have to at least be a feature-length documentary. Okay. And by feature-length, I would say at least an hour and a half. Okay. All right? This movie is like, what, an hour?
1:15.
1:15. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I guess technically it's a feature, but it really does feel like some kind of like an episode of Crazy Woman of Thievery, you know, episode 8, the Doris Payne story. Okay, that it really does feel like that. Does this feel like a full feature documentary to you?
It did to me. Like, I felt like I was
okay.
Yeah, I felt like I had it at the end. Like, I felt fed.
Okay, fair enough. Fed. Oh, okay, fair enough. Mm-hmm. But can we at least make an agreement that an hour 15 is at least, it has the documentaries have to be at least that long?
No, I'm not agreeing to that,
because anything less is like, feels like a TV show.
I think a documentary is a different beast. I think a documentary can look a lot of different ways.
Yeah. No, they can. I'm not saying that they're not documentaries.
Our friend, not Charnel.
Maori?
No, not Charnel Brown.
I don't know which one you're trying to think of.
Who we showed her documentary about the 2 sisters who own the farmland.
Oh, Charlie. Charlie. I know he's Charlie Brownskin.
Right, Charlie Brownskin. That documentary was, what was it, 15, 20 minutes?
Yes, but we showed that in front of a film.
Yeah, but see, I feel like that documentary was crafted well enough.
Yes.
Was done, and I hate to put you on the spot because we know her, and I don't want to put you in a position where you feel like you shitting on what she did. But I just think it's a great example of what you can do with less than an hour.
Yeah.
And make a complete documentary. Like, she had background, she had interviews.
Yes, she did.
She had talking heads. Mm-hmm. It was amazingly well crafted.
Yes.
And it was significantly less than an hour.
Yeah,
and I feel like you and I could have an episode of the Micheaux Mission on that documentary. And I've seen documentaries of that length.
Well, so have I. I don't know
that they've been done well enough that there's enough meat on the bone to speak on it.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. I think that we could do a interesting review of a documentary of that length, because I agree that is a complete documentary. I agree that there are complete 10, 15, hell, 5-minute documentaries.
Okay.
But I think that for an episode of our show, that if we had chosen that documentary or a similar documentary, then I would expect that we are reviewing that and possibly one or two others.
Yeah, but see, I don't think it's a one-to-one. Like, I don't think the length of the project equals the length of the conversation. Like, I don't think that's an ironclad relationship. Like, we watch movies that are an hour and a half. Like, we had the same length of conversation about Malcolm X as we did an hour and a half film. Like, I don't think that's a cut and dried relationship.
Okay. All right.
I think it's a good kind of, whoa. If anything, the irony is that I think it forces you to articulate why you think this is a good subject to talk about. It's like, okay, it's only 45 minutes. Well, is this 45 minutes, like what's the difference between this and something that, as you said, like a stupid Netflix thing or something. So yes.
Okay. All right.
So
the life and crime.
You didn't do the thing.
I was about to right now.
Okay, all right.
The Life and Crimes of Doris PAYNE. Vincent?
Yes.
Would you suggest or recommend this to the missionary?
Oh, I would. I was completely, like, Doris PAYNE had completely pulled me in by the end, just who she is. And then within the wider context of the conversations that we have about images and everything, I love the fact that this is an old Black woman who's a sociopath. Like, this is not like she don't have no hard candies in her purse to get to the kids. Like, she don't have some homespun wisdom to help us keep our moral compass. Like, she's not a true north.
That's true.
That we should listen to.
Very true.
And again, she does not apologize for that. This is somebody who, I'm not even sure. Like it would not surprise me if there was some trauma in her past.
Well, she talks about it a little bit.
Yeah, but this is not somebody that I got the sense is driven by trauma.
the trauma, right.
Like, this is not a wounded bird.
Yes.
Like she look.
Yeah. No, a cat didn't jump through a window and she said, "I shall be a cat."
Right. So yeah, I would, just because of that. Absolutely.
I would, and I would recommend it as well. She is a captivating. She was a great storyteller. I will say that she's a great storyteller. She's a captivating figure. The Life and Crimes of Doris PAYNE. Check it out, missionaries. Check it out.